Hello and welcome to what is day 3 of our Flesh and Blood weekend and day 2 of our UK Nationals.
So excited.
I'm torn between excitement and fatigue at the minute.
But your excitement will keep you going.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just
definitely.
not much sleep. It was a brilliant night. It was a brilliant night.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It's good to see all the community as well and actually hang out a bit socially, which is really nice from one of the highlights of the weekend.
Yeah, a long time coming, because of COVID and everything. It's just like we haven't had a chance to hang out with people. It's been so long since there's been a big get together, of any community. This community has never got together at this level, so it's just nice.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
Yeah, it was good. So what can you expect from us today? We will be covering the UK Nationals top 24. We'll get a bit of a breakdown on that in a second. We have got some special guests lined up shortly for you as well. You may see an announcement about that previously. We will be trying to cover the progress where possible. We will get the first couple of rounds of that in before the Nationals start. That is on a secondary camera. The camera's not as good a quality and the mics are not as good, but I'd rather put you some on than nothing, I think is the bit. And there was a lot of requests for a table 2 in between rounds. So we'll try and get that working. You're going to have to bear with us a little bit because it does mean a little bit of working behind the scenes, but hopefully, for the most part, that's going to be pretty cracking on that. So
yeah, the ProQuest is sealed. So currently, all the contestants in that are currently making their decks, beavering away. I'm sure we'll see lots of one particular ring blade.
What was it you said? What was it you said to me before? See who's the best briar?
Yeah, indeed. Who's the best briar?
So what we're going to do is just going to tick over now to our standings from the weekend so far. So we saw our top 96. I said 96 with 89 at the start of the weekend. What heroes they were covering. We pretty much covered most of that yesterday. By no means a surprise, there was Bravo and Briar.
Our predictions were off. We said that there was going to be quite a few Dorynthias because the UK meta was, was really strong into Dorinthia. Sharif is not playing Dorinthia; he's gone into Briar. I did say Katsu was going to be strong, but our strongest Katsu players in Finbar, also known as Stilfer and Simon Denning, are not playing Katsu.
So that's the ProQuest seal deck construction going on in the background.
So we are live.
Yeah. So that was our top 96 sort of coverage for the CC. Then we went into draft, and that was a surprise, I think.
It was a surprise. I thought a lot of people were going to be playing Briar. Oldham's good if there are not that many on the table going into Oldham. You can really fatigue decks out, like we saw in the call-in for the last 2 weekends. But because of that, a lot of people went into Oldham.
Yeah, I mean our top 8. So everybody's broken down into pods. Top 8's where possible, and our top 8. I think there was 4 Oldhams.
Yeah, 4 Oldham,
1
3
Lexi.
Briar.
Yeah. So actually, that split may not be comparable as you go through the pods, but across the day, that was quite evenly split, I think. So let's get on to our top 24. I think there's no surprises really on names.
Not really. It's a bit strange. Not knowing that we've got a player on 8 wins, I was unaware that when the format changes in them, that basically you can get paired against the same opponents. So because of Matthew and Aaron played multiple times, and Matthew came out both times, didn't he? So yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of our locals on that list as well, which is great to see.
That was brilliant. The atmosphere when they were calling out the top 24 was absolutely brilliant. There were some people that didn't know if they were in. They're on the bubble, and the anticipation of having their names called out was brilliant. You're just hoping you see your friends doing really well, and you just want them to be in there, and when their name gets called out, you are just so elated to hear it. It's been good. So I said I don't think there'll be a Levia. Oh my God, we've got one.
So that's what your top 24 look like and the heroes that they brought. So yeah, I mean, no surprise, Brian Bravo.
Yeah.
But they switched their sort of percentage, but they are half the field.
They are. Yeah, Briar Strong. We don't know if that's Briar Lightning. We don't know if that's Briar Earth. Or we don't know if it's the Cheerio deck.
Yeah.
We haven't done much scouting, to be fair. I'm sure some, the top 24 players, there's been some scouting going on, that's for sure. checking people out. But
Yeah, no Oldham. Obviously, there was only one. I think there was only one in the field.
there was one Oldham, and
Yeah.
it was pretty much going to time every time, and that's just exhausting to play.
A couple of dash. Obviously, the Katsu, Lexi. Like you say, I think the two surprises there is we've got Chain and Levia.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. It was and Viceroy. You know, the Viceroy we all know as an OTK deck. We spoke to Hamish briefly yesterday. It would have been nice to have more of a chat with him, but you know, we're kind of like running out of time. But yeah, repped Viceroy for so long and has done really well with him. It's brought him in. I had a chat. So Darren Hazelden, I know him from L5R. He's playing Levia, and when I found out, I was just like, "Oh my god! No wonder Levia's in the top 24." He has surprised everyone. There's a lot of people that have got paired against him and just looked at Levia and just went, "Yeah, okay, I've got this," and he has absolutely smashed them.
Yeah.
If he does well, I really want to get Levia on stream.
Yeah, if we can. I mean, and that's the bit. That's where we're going to go for the matchup. So obviously, our Nationals top 24 will go into draft to start with.
Yes.
And so we're going to get 3 rounds of that off. Right, so.
Your shirt's so weird, isn't it?
I know, it's just, I think it's catching up on the camera. There we go.
All right.
Right, so you may have only saying about shirts, and look at the suaveness that's dressed next to me.
You've got dressed to impress.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the finals. We've got to raise our
we've got to
game.
raise
I've
it, yeah.
raised the game. We've gone smart cosplay. We have gone deep blue.
Yeah. So,
You know what I mean?
with that sort of in mind, I'm going to pop you onto a bit of a video, but I am going to discard Barry for 3 resources.
What?
I'm going to discard you 3 resources. Let's check out the price support, and we'll see what those resources are shortly.
So welcome back. We've just seen an absolute masterclass of Lexi by Sharif. That was phenomenal. That was absolutely
There was
brilliant.
a lot of luck. A lot of luck.
Well, you make your own luck, don't you? It's part of the draft.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't it? So yeah, it was just dominated arrows, frostbite tokens to lock David out with using Briar. I did overhear the brief chat that when you used that frostbite token, he had a handful of red, and he was left with a handful of red after that, so that's why he passed.
So when we did the draft, I actually read signals that there was going to be more Briars, less Oldheims and Lexis. I misread this because there's actually 3 Oldheims, 3 Lexis, 2 Briars.
A little bit different from the top table from yesterday.
Yep. So misread this, and I wanted to go very ice-heavy Lexi and see if I could just slow down the Briars. And you saw what the deck did. That's the best scenario for this deck, is to really try this. Now the issue is, because there were 2 other Lexis, I didn't actually get to draft as many good cards as I wanted to, and that's why I say there was a lot of luck there, because I saw the cards I needed really early on. And if the game goes longer, I think Dyson wins.
Yeah. I did have a chat with the other Lexi player, and they were saying that they didn't have the overflexes, and they were like, well, the overflexes must be somewhere.
Yep.
Well, we know where that is.
That is me. Yes.
That's brilliant. So I had you down as playing Dory this weekend. For me, you are Mr. Dorinthia.
Yep.
You know,
Fair
always been the warrior player. But you totally shocked me this weekend when I came up to you to have a chat. What are you playing?
I am playing Briar, and specifically Lightning Briar.
And why did we switch?
There was a lot of testing. I thought we were going to see a lot more Prism than we actually did. And Dory into Prism is a very painful matchup, right? And part of me was thinking, I'll try this new deck. It's explosive, it's aggro. I'm actually an aggro player at heart, but I moved to Dory, and Dory plays slightly differently, even though she is, in my opinion, a type of aggro. So I saw the Lightning Briar list at the calling, and I'm like, well, let's try this deck. And when I tested it, I was like, okay, Dory should still beat this deck. So maybe I'll bring Dory. There'll be a lot of Lightning Briars, and I'll do fine.
Yeah.
The night before, I'm playing against a few friends, and they're on Lightning Briar, and I couldn't keep up with Dory. And I'm like, okay, I need to get myself out of this comfort zone of playing Dory and take a deck I think will do well. And that was Lightning Briar. And it worked out in my favor. I do think I did better with Lightning Briar than I would have done with Dory.
Well, and here you are in the top 20. You're still actually in top 22.
Yep.
Yeah. And well on your way to making the top 8. It's fantastic. It's so nice that you volunteered to come online.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Absolutely brilliant.
Always nice to see you, Barry.
Always nice to see you, mate.
And maybe next time I'll be back on Dory. We'll see how the meta
We'll
changes.
see. Hopefully, I don't draw you when you submarine, and I just go, oh, okay. But it is an absolute pleasure to play you.
Thank you.
If
You
anybody does get to play you, you just like it is a sheer masterclass.
I always try to make it a fun game.
You do. You certainly do, and you certainly help out. You certainly help players improve their game. You always want to share your knowledge, and that's what it's about.
I enjoy playing Dory. The game is fun. You know, you want to have fun. That's also the other reason I brought Lightning Briar. It's fun to play. It's explosive. You're in your opponent's face. It's fun. You have to enjoy the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, indeed. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Cheers,
Thank you guys for watching, and we shall come back with round 2. Okay, welcome back to the UK Nationals at the Royal Armoury in Leeds, and I have Hamish sitting next to me. What a match. That was amazing. That was so good. Oldham versus Oldham. We thought it might have gone to time.
Good night, everybody. Oh my!
It was brilliant. The way that you managed to control George's Arsenal was fantastic. You pretty much just kept him
Yeah,
with Titan's Fist for 3, and then just every time you were blocking out, picture blue.
yeah. I have to say, I actually forgot his surname, but he's second in the Swiss. It's Aaron.
Aaron Boyham.
Aaron Boyham.
Yeah.
I want to give a massive shout out to him because he was my first round in the draft Swiss, and he was also playing Oldham as well. And while we were playing, I knew I wasn't really playing very optimally. It's honest, I was playing a bit garbage, right? Just wasn't getting into the flow really well, quite nervous, and then I was kind of just watching him how he played his game, and I was realizing this might sound really obvious to a lot of people, especially when you sit back and you're watching the games, right? But when you're nervous, you got this earth card and you think, oh, he's coming in for 4, and you go, I can pitch this up, I can block with that, and I blocked up my earth cards.
Yeah.
They were blue, and I was like, what am I doing? Just pitch. It's the same block. It was just loads of silly stuff like that. So I was watching him play, and I was going, you know what? He's cultivating the turns. I know that's pretty obvious, Guardian stuff, but it was just like, all right, yeah, cool. And halfway through our game, I was starting to get it. And then after that point, I went, right, I know what my cards. I know where the gas cards are. I know what they need to do. I just need to just take my time, cultivate a turn, and then go. And then it will force cards out of their hands.
Yeah, you guys were always checking how many cards were left in your deck.
When it's an older mirror, it is pretty much like, how many cards have you got in your deck the whole way through. So then, second game, it was against David Dyson. I don't know.
David Dyson.
David Dyson.
Yeah, we saw him on stream versus Sharif in the first round of
He's not related to Dyson Hoovers.
Yeah, he's not. I asked him that as well.
He's like,
First
I'm
time.
in, but I'll play Fab anyway. I was just hoovering up the competition.
That's the first time I met him. I went, "Are you related?"
He's a sick dude. Played him out. Played this Oldham strategy. Took my time. Blocked him out. Tear us under into Arsenal. Force blocks. Take cards, and then get the swing backs, and then he's got no cards left. Win it. Same thing with this.
You thought you had him.
I thought I had him with the thumb.
dominated thumb.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I'd kill him, but I thought I was going to definitely strip some cards out of his hands. I was going to get him down low enough. I got Tear us under in hand. That's going into Arsenal. Draw back up. No blocks. Tear us under. Win the game. That was in my head. Perfect block. Tear us under goes back on top. I'm like, right, okay. Here we go. We've got to play. We've got to take our time getting this up again.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest. Just locked out. So Tear us under, blue, ice, glacial, right?
But that glacial footsteps was the one that you picked back out of your deck with the Sotoma.
Maybe, that was a good play. That was good. It turns out doing that was a good move, which was the plan anyway. But when it showed up when it did, I was like, oh,
awesome.
I'm in 10. And then I was like, please don't have anything else. Otherwise, I'm going to get really frustrated. And he went, yeah, Jay, GG. And then you just...
Yeah, everyone was cheering. All of your play testing group came over. They couldn't believe it.
No, I was like, I can't believe it either. I can't believe it.
So they've had the announcements for who's in the top 8. You came third.
Even that just blows me away. I was just like, because Aaron and Matt Volks, and as much as probably whatever sort of I've seen on the chat, so much grief. Those two players, right, in this event today, are hands down probably the hottest two players in this event today. And from my experience of playing with Matt on in our games, there was no funny business or anything. He was generally just outplayed me as a player, and he really understood what he had to do. So those two to me, I'm like, geez, these guys are on fire throughout this nationals, and to me like third behind those two fireballs at the minute, I'm like, wow, geez, I'm over the moon.
It's really weird because Road to Nationals, you were the bubble boy.
Oh yeah,
You were the bubble boy. So the bubble boys put some practice in, and the
Yeah.
bubble boys now third. So
can't-
practice pays.
Yeah, it honestly, the practice pays, and I'm gonna do some quick shout outs. So obviously, we've got our team in the UK. There's 12 of us, and I know for 100% I'm gonna forget everyone. So I'm just gonna say thank you so much to the UK team. They've been pretty much all the way through testing from very early stages throughout the RTN season. And I'm also going to give a good shout out to some of the New Zealand players that took me under their wing in their little Facebook chat. Got Jason Lai, Rohan, Aaron, Jordan. I'm going to get your name wrong. I always get it on. Jordan, card sucks guy. There you go. Ash. Here we go. Sorry. And Richard. I'm really sorry. I don't really know pretty much everyone else's names. But thank you for all you guys. The amount of testing time you've given me throughout bit of draft and CC. Again, massive. I'll give massive props to Rohan. He's like just him and Jason Lai had just been really taking their time, and Aaron and Matt actually taking their time to come and meet up with me, go through the deck, play, and just improve me as a player. I can't really give enough thanks for that. Matt Rogers, thanks for chatting. You have been, it was really
Just
good.
casually throw that in.
Yeah,
There we
no, but I've had some good chats with Matt Rogers. So massive props to him. I sound like I've won. I haven't. I feel, but
You feel like you're a winner because you're in the top 8.
I've achieved more than I've achieved my goal, and now that I'm here, I'm now moving on to stage 2, and I've also made a bit of a put some fire in the burner a bit, didn't I? When Jake showed up with the mic and saw me say, Jake, say a poem just before he did it. He was like, no, have you got any words, Hamish? And I went, yeah, I'll see you in the final. Now everyone's like, whoa! And I'm like, oh God, now I've got to do it. I don't know if anyone as well knows I'm playing Viscerai, and that is like, that's to me is just.
Well, you're going to have all the Viscerai guys just backing you on now.
Oh,
Dude, you are ripping him.
I'm doing it for the Viscerai guys, and I don't know if anyone in any it probably has. So if you do, top props, man. But I don't know if any Viscerai made a top 8 in any nationals. And when I say any nationals, pretty much New Zealand's. I don't know.
We might see some more next week because we've got the US nationals.
Yeah, I've got the US nationals.
So we might see some Viscerai players then. But
yeah,
we do know who you're facing next.
I do.
We do. So
it's a rematch. It's me and George again. So now I'm gonna lay down a bit now. Now that I think he's playing Bravo.
he is playing Bravo. So,
So-
Bravo versus Viscerai. You're
No,
on.
I beat him as Guardian.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna go. All right, okay. Now I'm gonna bring the one I actually want to play. I'm talking big now, and then you watch me lose, and you can all go.
We better put
And
you
I'll be
on
like,
screen then.
oh no.
No, but thanks a lot. Go get some rest. You've got about 20 minutes to chill out before the quarterfinal starts.
Right, plug, push the point. It's a podcast based in the UK with Simon Denning, Dan Tripp. After all this is done, I will be sitting down with the two guys, and we're doing a comprehensive Viscerai deck tech. No matter where I am in the results, I'm hoping people would like to know what this Viscerai deck does, so you can practice it, play it with all your mates, and have a good time playing Viscerai. Because I'm telling you now, he is bonkers good now. So look out for that. Thank you so much,
Cheers, Steve.
Barry.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Nice. So we're back. I'm joined by Mike Kurzlake. You came in 22nd.
What? Yeah, through to yeah. I've scraped through. Yeah, I was well happy.
Indeed. So your goal for the top for the top cut. So you knew that you couldn't make it into the top 8 with your record.
So I was 5 and 4, and I worked it out. I would not get into the top 8. So we sat down at breakfast, worked it out. I can't get up to the 4 wins that I need to get into the top 8.
Yeah.
There was another 2 players that were the same score as me, but they dropped.
Yep.
So we went down to the 22. But yeah, I'm in top 8. I'm like, I'm going to come have some fun. I'm not fussed about dropping. I'm having some good times, and I enjoyed my last draft. So I thought, draft.
But the thing is, drafting against the top players is only going to make you better.
Yes.
So how did it go? What was your pack 1 pick 1?
My pack. So I think I said about my draft weekend last time, and literally I got informed. There's 2 cards, pack 1, pick 1, and one of them is deep blue. You can hear.
Thank you.
And then the second one is Marker Lightning, the
Armour.
armor.
Yeah.
Open it up. Cold foil. That's it. Me done. Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Living Realms.
exactly. Yeah. And I'm like, so I just carried on. I'm not going to sit here and say there was any strategy. It was I always go Briar. And literally because of the last one, I went Briar Earth, and then we're going through as they're coming round. All I'm seeing is Briar Lightning. So I just went Briar Lightning, and the whole deck was Briar Lightning.
So let's get into it, because you have kind of upset the apple cart a
Oh,
bit. So you worked out if you went 3-0 in the bottom pod.
I dropped the whole pot.
So how did it go?
I went 3-0. I upset the apple cart. I
You
think.
did. So the top pod was actually quite happy with your performance down below, because there could have been some numbers
yes.
up at the top pods where they could have dropped down and not made it into the top 8.
Yeah.
But because you've played outstanding and 3-0'd your bottom pod, you kind of forced the top 8 players to remain where they are.
Exactly.
In essence.
It was a hard call, and I'm literally sitting there, and everybody on this table knows if I go 3-0, then none of them are getting through.
Yeah.
So first game I played against Fergus, and that's actually Hamish's brother.
Yeah.
Very good player.
Ferg is a top bloke.
Yeah.
He's really quiet. He's not like Hamish at all. He's a really quiet guy, but he is so funny to be around.
And I can't fault. So we sat down, and it was an Oldham match versus Briar, and it was. I think he was a little bit flustered, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, top 24 is a nervous place to be.
Yeah, and I was like, and it was a really, even when we drafted, when we first started, it was like, do I just scoop and take all what I want?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get it.
We got a cold foil.
Yeah, and then like I got a few mythics come round, and I'm like, oh, majestic, sorry, and I'm like, should I just take it? And then I'm like, no, let's play, let's have a bit of fun. And then when I played Ferg, I'm like, he's a good mate. He's a good mate. And then and he just made a few mistakes, and it just snowballed. And I just got the win. I think it was Mark Lightning, Chain Lightning, and fused, and just did the 3 damage. Got it. And then second round, I got paired down with Chris Sweeney.
Okay, so Tower and Titan.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and to be honest, we've seen each other, I think, but it was our first official game we've ever played together.
Yeah.
And absolutely brilliant guy.
Yeah, he's a top guy.
He's playing Oldham first, and my health goes from 20 to 13 to 2. I just took it all and just kept coming back, and I got the win again. It was just arcane, and then played Daniel. I think it was Daniel. He was the Levy player.
Oh, Darren Hayes.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Right,
Daniel,
yeah.
Darren. And I'm sitting there, and I've got a real soft spot for Levia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I let him win, he's through.
Well,
Levia's
you
into
don't
the
let
top.
someone.
No. But you know what I mean? Do I go for it and try and smash him? And I sat down, and I can tell he's like, I really want this. And I said to him, look, if you can beat me, you deserve to be in this top 8.
Yeah.
And then we played, and it was a Briar versus Briar. And the problem I noticed where he was sitting, he missed quite a few of the key Briar cards. So his Briar deck wasn't as strong, but he even knew that.
Yeah.
And when we
So he kind of ended up forcing into Briar.
Yeah, I think that's it. And we sat there and we're going through, and it went down to 1 health. and then he sat there, and I came in for 3, and he pumped my own attack just for shits and giggles. So he was like defense reaction over the
He said for hits and giggles then.
yeah, for hits and giggles. I can only apologise. It's been a long day, a long 2 days, isn't it? So
It's been, yeah.
and then unfortunately, like I said, I did the one arcane and killed him off, and I felt bad. But at the end of the day, I've got to look after my own EOL as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So-
You know, it would have been nice to put Levire on, but the thing is, it's like we have, you know, we talk quite regularly, and you know, you always say I'm more of a casual player, but as soon as you start, there is no casual. It's like no, there's no casual.
exactly.
You're not going to get an easy game. From
No,
me.
no,
So,
and it was like I went for it, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy every person I played in the top 8 in my little pod.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Absolutely, and they're really good guys. I think you're gonna have a very good top 8 of this, and everybody
it's
in
gonna be
there
good.
is
And
gonna be.
they are well-known names as well now.
Oh,
so
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
Simon
exactly.
Denning, Sharif.
Yeah,
That you know.
we've got Matt, George, Aaron.
Yeah.
So
So it is. It does seem to be 2 main testing groups have made it into
yes,
the
definitely,
into,
yeah.
into the
Because
top 8.
I've been working with Aaron, George, and because on our draft weekend it was me, George, Aaron, and Matt.
Yeah.
A big shout out to Matt Light though. So we went away for a weekend where we did a draft. Matt Light, he's doing some content for Channel Fireball. I'd advise looking at some
Yeah,
really good stuff.
he's been online.
Yeah, and he sent us away, and literally he came in like a teacher, notepads. We were having to write everything down so we could review all the cards. And like I said, I went from here to here, but the other players went from like here to here.
Yeah. But that's where today brings it.
Well,
Playing
yeah,
playing the
exactly.
top, you know,
Yeah.
playing the topmost players in the UK is only going to improve your game.
Yeah. Well,
So
I went eight and 4. Is that right? I'm
what
lost.
did you
track.
go in? You went 5 and 4 in. You've won,
yeah.
8 and 4.
8 and 4, and 5 of them were draft.
That's
And
good.
I can't thank Matt enough, because Matt Light, I would never have won half my games unless it was for Matt Light, because he took me from where I needed to, and then literally I can start going around, and I will be saying, Matt, I'm waiting for the next one. So yeah,
So where did you finish?
I came 14th.
14th.
14th. I'm buzzing
awesome.
about that result. I am absolutely. I just like I said. Also, I want to do a big shout out to you and Alan, because you guys.
Alan's doing most of it. I've
yeah.
just got to ask a few
Oh,
questions.
wait, you just turn up dapper. Yeah, exactly. And again, Fabio, Living Realms, for me, we are 2.5 hours drive.
Yeah.
And they've always made us, when we've come down to them.
And we're already looking at coming to the skirmish.
Oh, yes, definitely.
This is right. Yeah.
That means you've got to play though.
Well, yeah, might try and get Alan to stream though. I can chat some more. But no, dude,
No, seriously.
go get
Thank
some
you
rest.
very much.
You've,
Enjoy the final, guys.
indeed, you've got to rest up because
Yeah.
you're driving me home.
Yeah, could do with some sleep. See you in a bit.
Hello, welcome back. I've dived out from behind the laptop. I've been
Once,
busy, for once. I've been busy squirreling away to get you guys all of the infographics. So for the top 24s, for both the ProQuest and also for the Nationals.
Yep.
So let's talk about the ProQuest first of all. So this is your top 24 for the ProQuest. Sorry, top 56. There was quite a few players that did drop out.
Yeah.
I think sealed isn't necessary for everybody.
No, you can get a bit bried out in sealed. That's for sure.
Yeah, and being sealed as well, there's no hero breakdown because actually players can switch their hero.
Yeah, I know that
midway
some
through.
of the guys I talked to, they started off on Briar, didn't do very well, so they switched over to Lexi just to finish out the rounds.
Yeah. So we've got that there. So our actual top 8 for that is Liam. So let's start with Liam going undefeated. Then we've got a bunch of 6 and 1s.
Yep.
And 3 5 and 2s that have managed to claw in there. So they are going into draft now.
Yep.
And hopefully they will be sort of the next 10 minutes starting off their draft. Because of that, we are actually accelerating the timescale on the Nationals. because we've managed to clear out early, get the rounds finished and tidied away. So
Everyone's behaved themselves.
I was going to say, it's surprising, a major TCG event, and it's running ahead of schedule.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's less players, isn't it? It's less players to organise. Players are a bit more focused on what needs to be done, and it has sped up sort of like the rest of the day. Even the draft rounds have not really been going to time.
No.
They've been finishing early, so
Yeah, so they're going into draft now, but because we are accelerating the time ahead of the Nationals, it does mean that we may not get as much of the pro covered top 8 covered as I wanted.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem. We're here for the Nationals, and that's what we will be bringing you. If we do manage to bring you the top 8 of the ProQuest, then so be it. We will obviously try and get the winner of the ProQuest on as soon if we can as well. So that's there. So going into our top 22. Going into the top 8 of
National.
of the Nationals. Sorry,
There we
I've lost my track now. I've gone on to the wrong slide.
Because you've done so many
It's
slides.
because I've done so many slides. So we're on the top 8 there. Obviously, Matt's going 12-0 so far.
Yeah, undefeated.
Undefeated. That has meant that has put 3-game gap between him and Aaron. Obviously,
Yeah, but
that's not going to matter now.
These are all in and wins now. This is now the knockout. That doesn't matter for your record. Your winning record of 12-0 is just for flexing.
Yeah.
You know, this is you've got to win or you are out.
Yeah, we're knockout now. We are also untimed now with CC because we've gone into the knockout. So there will be no draws, there will be no going to time, there will be no time displayed on the round. So that's gonna be quite good, I think. For some of the players.
It gives players a bit more time to think. Sometimes with the time limit, it can get a bit frantic, especially as the time starts running out. But yeah, we just want clean play. Everybody wants to see clean play. You know, we have got, the 8 best players in the UK. Let's see what they can do. Tables are being actively judged. So, yeah.
Yeah, so seeing I'm at that one, let's go to the final standings. So that's the whole 22. We did have 2 players drop out of the top 24 that believed they couldn't make the top 8, so they went over to the ProQuest to try their hand at
to try and get the gold skull cap.
Yeah. So they've gone over there. Wish them all the best of luck. But that is your top 22 of the UK Nationals.
Yeah.
So as we heard from Mike, it's been a bit of an interesting one with the way the draft pods worked out.
Yeah. But it just shows that if you are on the bottom table, you can massively affect the actual, the standings of everybody. And speaking to Mike, he did. He 3-0'd it. He had a really good time, even knowing that he couldn't even make the top 8. Yeah. And he has really upset the apple cart of what's happened in this ranking.
Yeah, and it has. So speaking of the top 24, and if I get this one right, that's a Brucey, isn't it? So there we are. So that is our top 24 draft. So actually, there's a lot of Oldham.
Yeah, which is quite surprising. There were more Lexis drafted, you could say. Normally it was like 1 per table. But as we even saw on the top table, there was 2 people going for Lexi. People have seen that if you are the sole person collecting Lexi, or even 1 character, if you're the sole person getting Oldham, you can certainly have a decent deck, a really good deck, and a deck that will push you through.
Yeah, and that's it. So it's going to be interesting to see what these players are doing, because they are now switching back to their original CC heroes.
Yeah, it can be a bit confusing. These guys have now basically played 20 live, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes, sorry. And now they're back onto unlimited time, 40 health. So, it's kind of like you can relax, but you've also got to get yourself in that headspace of, I can relax a bit more. I've got more time to tune my deck. I've got 40 health to use as resources, as need be.
And then that's a big statement.
Like that.
So that's 4 Briar players in this top 8. Obviously, Briar was quite well represented going in, Bravo being the bigger one, but only getting one player through.
Yeah, we know that Matt's playing Briar. We know that Aaron's playing Briar. Sharif is playing Briar.
Simon's playing.
Simon Denning's playing Briar. There are 2 Katsus, which we will have a Katsu versus Briar in the next stream. They are setting up, and
so actually, just let's have a quick flick back there to our top 8. So that will be Briar versus Katsu, Briar versus Briar, Viserai versus Bravo, and Briar Katsu. So
which is the one we're bringing.
We're
bringing 4th and 5th.
Yeah, so we're going to bring that. Obviously, we want to get as many players on as we can throughout the event, and
Yeah.
that itself has been its own challenges. So
Thing is, it became quite nerve-wracking coming on stream. You know, we have asked people to volunteer, and people have graciously said it. We have not forced anybody to come on. If they've said no to us, we've just gone to another table.
Yeah.
We have not, we have not put anybody up here who didn't want to come up. Simon, and we try to rotate people as well, so it's just not one person on stream the entire time,
yeah,
which
exactly.
gives you guys more variation.
Yeah.
So yeah, Simon and Aaron are coming up onto stream.
Which would be great. Obviously, there's going to be less people to pick from as the next 3 rounds go on. So, like I say, top 8,
And we haven't
knockout.
seen Katsu.
Yeah, we have
We've
not seen Katsu. Yeah, so it would be good. Don't know.
It'll be
Do
interesting.
we think Brian will go the way?
Aggro versus aggro. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what comes out on top. I mean, obviously Simon thinks that basically, Briar is better than Katsu. He has won a road to nationals with Katsu. I'm not going to say he's wrong because I'm not as good a player as Simon. So.
Yeah. So Hamish and George are going into their grudge match, which is going to be interesting. I am also conscious of time. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to drop you back off. We are going to set up for our top 8. All right?
Yeah. Welcome back to the UK Nationals at Royal Armoury Leeds. We have just seen a fantastic game. Simon Denning making himself a semi-finalist. How you feeling?
Pretty elated right now, I must admit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind. I'm used to being the one playing Katsu, not playing against Katsu, but
I would definitely call you Mr. Katsu, and I had you down as playing Katsu.
a lot of people did
Yeah.
yesterday, should I say? But no, I think it's one thing to be able to play Katsu, but playing against Katsu's a different ball game, and I think I got a bit lucky. His hands weren't particularly good. I blocked out where I needed to block out.
Getting those embodiments is really good. It's
They
key
stack
for
up
blocking
quite
those
quickly.
big turns.
Yeah, and using the creepers in a way to enable the sword as well, especially when they're not playing any arcane barrier. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was the key.
Most of the time when I've ever seen creepers, it's just like one and done. You managed
Yeah.
to keep that going for 3.
Yeah.
You played it twice. You had it on tap for another go.
Yeah,
That was
and then
brilliant.
I managed to block with it as well. So I got the full use out of the creepers today for that match especially, and it was key to getting the arcane over the line and getting me through.
So what was your decision not playing Katsu and switching to Briar?
I think the new heroes present a different challenge. I've had a real blast building this deck actually, and to be able to bring it yesterday and show people what it's all about, it's been great fun. Still 2 more rounds to go.
Indeed, there's a lot of pressure. Still.
But yeah, I just want to thank Jason Hamer, who's been key in helping me get this deck tuned up, and so far it's done us well. We'll see how we go. There's still, as I say, 2 more rounds to go. The people coming into the semi-final are really solid players. So
I'll give you some good news. Sharif won.
fantastic.
That might mean you might play him.
Well, I know, but that's 2 of our testing group into the semi-finals. So, but no, in terms of Katsu, I think he does aggro well.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. He's done me well over the last few months, but
won you an
I
RTN.
think the new heroes present that new challenge, and if you manage to build the deck and tune the deck correctly, as you saw with Briar, you can block well and you can do damage. So that's what makes it fun for me.
Yeah. The thing is, when you see like Briar presented, as soon as she gets those embodiment of Earths, you think that she's going to block out. She's going to block out big. And it can prevent you from coming in with your big turn. And you're just like, I'm not blocking. I'm not bothered that I've got 3 embodiments. We saw that when you had 3.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Aaron came in with an attack, and you were just like, yeah.
I could have fully blocked the E-Strike for 10. I could have, with a Whisper that would have blocked for 6 and a Sigil and Arsenal. However, the Whisper enabled me to go with the Creepers the next turn and get another 4 damage in with the Sword on top of what I would have been doing. So I had the life advantage. I was able to take the hit and come back with a more aggressive turn that he had to think about.
Yeah, indeed. It's been brilliant watching you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
All the best for the future.
Well, 2 more rounds to go.
Yeah, indeed.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Hi, welcome back to UK Nationals at Royal Armouries Leeds, and we have our finalist, George, Roger, rocking Bravo.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
I will say, at the beginning of yesterday, I said I wanted Bravo in the final. I've got Bravo in the final. We've played quite a few times.
We have
You smashed me every
multiple
time.
games.
It smashed me every time. So yeah, it is an amazing deck, and you have shared it amongst the club, so we could all sort of like have a play with it.
Absolutely. So one of the guys in our team, Mike, he's running a very similar list. We changed a little bit just to suit his game plan.
Yep.
But other than the small change, we kept it to the exact same way. He played it. He improved almost as well as I did. He absolutely smashed it. He went 3-0 in the first half.
Yep.
He didn't do too well, unfortunately, in the second part. But
didn't
I
matter.
think it's So I mean, I spent a long time working on this deck. I've taken like feedback from a lot of other decks. My own play testing. I used to run a really aggressive version of this deck with plunder runs in.
Yeah.
In in the chain meta, that was really useful. It helped me race chain. In fact, I didn't lose a game in a competitive environment against chain when I was running that list.
Yeah.
The meta has slowed down. Well, I thought it slowed down.
Brian says no.
Yeah, Brian really wants to speed up the meta again.
Yeah.
The deck is built for fatigue now, but with the ability to then turn on pressure later on and just like non-stop pressure. Or, if you draw lucky, you can just start pressure from the start and then carry it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at let's talk about the game that you play with Simon.
Yep.
So there was some key things in it. You did manage to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
You did manage to sort of like stop his aggression.
Yeah.
So how are you doing that? Is it just literally defense reactions, or are you playing for fatigue from the get-go?
No, so my main goal is to try and hold tempo. If tempo is not possible without me sacrificing too much damage, then I will go for a defensive play.
Yep.
So my first look at my hand is always, how can I use this to the maximum damage with keeping resources of defense?
Yep.
And then depending on what they play, I will then change my response based on that. So I never want to fatigue. It's just the way Bravo plays, you sometimes go to fatigue.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little sticky point where you came out with that pummel.
Yeah, so I think that's just the day dragging on for me. So
You've had a lot to think about.
that was the very Bravo autopilot where I've played Anavos and I've done for a seismic. There's 2 floating. I need to get this out of my arsenal. I'll just fly it out now.
Yeah.
Silly mistake.
Yeah.
Then there's another mistake on his side where I played a crippling crush, and he autopiloted to thinking it was dominated, and he blocked with 1 card, and that made a massive difference in the game as well.
Yeah. Okay, but you're a finalist.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
You have Matthew Folks in the final, another Briar.
Yeah.
So let's see if Bravo can do it again.
I mean, I need to beat him this time. He's got a record on me, but I'll have a try.
Yeah. Well, good luck for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so welcome back to Flesh and Blood UK Nationals at the Royal Armouries in Leeds. These are our finalists: George, Roger, and Matthew Folks. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That was brilliant. Well done, George.
Thank you.
That was awesome. What a final.
Yeah.
George, you got out the gates. You got out the gates
Yeah.
straight away, and we were just like, wow, okay, I've never seen you take that much pressure.
Yeah, it was not where I wanted to be.
Yeah, indeed. So if we break down the game, how were you feeling? Right, 3 turns in.
3 turns in, I mean, I was happy with the life state, and I knew that it came down to then, can I draw a hand where I can start punishing him and take the tempo back, for example, with Crippling Crush?
Yeah.
The turn never came across, and he kept his armor. He was really, really dedicated with his armor, and he played it so well. Not using the armor until it was absolutely essential, and that's what won in the game, was fantastic armor play. There were tiny things, but they didn't really impact the game, like how things can be optimized. Matt played a fantastic game and deserved the win.
Yeah.
Matt, what was the recipe for beating Bravo?
Well, that's not how I want the game to start, right? I don't envision like being like 3 turns into the game in my aggro deck, and my opponent to be on like 42 life, and I'm on like 25 or 9 or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great, things are going great. That's not where I want to be, but I had managed to gain a couple of his pieces of armor.
Yeah.
Which he made sacrifices with his armor to maintain his cards in hand, and so he can block more efficiently, and that will save him a lot of life, and it does build him a life lead. And if he has those punishing crippling crushes and spinals, he's going to keep building an advantage on me.
Yeah, totally.
But those life, they come at a cost, right? Those armor pieces, because as soon as he runs out of that armor and the armor starts to dwindle, suddenly my attacks of plunder run for 7 like that's 3 cards, or a card and a defense react.
Yeah.
And then 4, that's a card and another card, or it's a defense reaction, and he's just not going to be able to block those turns.
Well,
And
we
it
saw-
starts to get into a point, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
it starts to get into a point where my turns become, because I'm going to generate so many embodiments if he doesn't interact, and between the plunder runs and the snatches and the electrifiers, it's almost must block turns, because if I come out of a turn with 4 embodiments, even if he has a big turn, it doesn't necessarily look that great for George, especially when I've got all my armor, even if he's got that crippling, you know. So it's turns where he has to interact and he has to block, and that's right on George's part. I think George played, you know, probably my hardest game of the weekend, honestly. And it was like, because he has to build that lead. I think he has to try and build that lead and then continue to punish. And like George said, he didn't find that turn or that spot where I managed, or I, you know, sort of misstepped, and he had the final punishment, like a crippling, that would have really like set me right onto the back foot, and I wouldn't have been able to stabilize by just ignoring him for a turn. Like those early turns where he came for 11, I kind of just have to just say whatever, you know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's not necessarily the crippling crush. It's whether or not you can get a dominated spinal.
Yeah.
Stop the
Yeah.
massive
Basically,
amount of go again.
a dominated big attack where he has to, like, the on hit is so threatening that he has to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it in a position where he can't deal with it. It never came, which happens. Fantastic game.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
But you both went to the Matthew Light School of Draft.
Yes. Yeah,
So
we
big
have.
shout out to Matthew Light.
Me and George have got a bit of a rival. We've always had. I might go for it. Can I tell the story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so so the last time me and George played, we played in the event earlier today, but we also played in draft. And the last time me and George played, I was at 2 life. George was at 1, and I tapped my buddy Aaron Boyne, who was also in the top 8 today, playing my deck. Great friend. I said, Aaron, watch this. I went at pitch 3, pay a Polar Blast from Arsenal. This is in limited. He's on 1, I'm on 2. So pay 2 or dominate. I draw a card. He's like, we've got no cards in hand. You're drawing a card. Sure, dominate. I don't look, just blind off the top. Arrow for 5. So me and George have a history of crazy games. Like, and when I knew I was playing George in the final, I was actually really excited, because George is not someone I'd be unhappy to lose to, because I think he's both a very proficient Bravo player and also a really good guy.
But you saw that come through between you on the final.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was
And
camaraderie.
I was happy for that, because I was
playing
relaxed.
the game of flesh and blood.
I felt you know, comfortable and relaxed, which is I've made a couple of mistakes on the camera. I'm sure you're aware. I made
Yeah,
a
couple of viewers
mishaps.
have said about that. Yeah.
And I'm not happy that happens, but you know, that's part of the game, that sometimes you slip up, and you know, I'd love to have played technically perfect all weekend, but I made many mistakes throughout the weekend. Playing mistakes, a few technical mistakes, but you know, I think
You went flawless in the weekend.
as long as you know, as long as you can still
exactly.
see where your mistakes are. That's why I always try and think, you know, as long as when you can't see your mistakes, that's when I reckon you're fucked. Sorry, excuse my language. Sorry.
Fluffed.
That's when
That's what you
that's
said.
when you're going to struggle. But I can still see both technically and you know, in gameplay, I definitely continue to make mistakes this weekend. So.
Yeah, but it's about erasing those mistakes. Everybody wants a clean game.
Yeah.
You know, you don't go in there thinking, yeah, I'm going to do this and do
No,
that. So,
no.
you know, as we got through the entire weekend, we saw from everybody that all the plays tightened up, and that's what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, everybody sort of like relaxes a bit more. Silly mistakes go out the window, and sort of like you relax into the tournament.
Yeah.
And continue.
I wouldn't say I felt relaxed going into the final.
Yeah.
I think walking around, I probably looked like a bit of a serial killer. I've been sort of just zoned in for the last, you know, 48 hours, and yeah, it just feels like such a huge release now.
Yeah, I saw you out there and you were so relieved. So, best card in your deck. Now, after going 15-0, okay, let's get rid of the draft. Oh, after all the CC games,
Yeah.
I know I asked you this.
Yeah,
right
no,
at
I
the
might have a different
beginning.
answer. I reckon I got a
okay,
different
go
answer.
for it.
Okay, right. So the best card in my deck, by far, something that, you know, if you don't have them, you need to get them. It's Coax a Commotion.
They have gone up. They have gone up in price.
And they should. And they should. It's a pretty unassuming card, but those effects of Quicken Token, draw a card, gain a life, they're not double-sided effects. Like, they're not. They're contextual. And you get to decide. And versus a ton of the format, who wants a Quicken Token? Hey George, would you like a quicken token? No, he wouldn't. A prison player, would you like a quicken token? No, he wouldn't. And so that's why you should all buy as many Cokes and Commotions as you possibly can. There you go.
Right, brilliant. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
No
Thank
worries.
you, George.
Cheers,
Well
thanks.
done. Well done,
Thank
fella.
you.
Right. Thank you. Later and more chats with the guys from Living Realms. Stay tuned.
All right, everybody. So here we are at the end of a long, long road that has been the pre-nationals season, and now into as well day 0, day 1, day 2, and we're finally here. We've made it. We've got our UK national champion. That's what everyone's going to big round of applause there. My boy Matthew, folks. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who want to thank me today, a lot of people have got prizing. So the first one thing I want to say thanks to is our wonderful judging team. Who've been absolutely we are missing one right now, we're missing the Prince right now, but you know, we'll get his prizing when he gets in. So I'd like to invite the team up one by one and give them their prizing. So, Piotr, if you would like to come up first, let's give a round of applause. Big round of applause. Yourselves of the community, Harold.
Judgment of Herald.
I'm playing about that as well. Next on, let's get yourself up here. Someone's got a long consistent push, made his way up. Absolutely has proven his worth. Alright, thank you, Aaron. Michael, come and get yourself up here, Michael. Come on, Michael. Very well done. Obviously, all the way to Harold as well. And last but not least, in the very slightest, is our head coach. One more time. All right, so after that, back to the bit of run. Obviously, I know you guys are super pumped for the national championship, but we all also have obviously having the Pro Quest running on the side, of which I'm going to be one winner of that. So I would like to have on stage Mr. Robert Catton, who is our winner for the UK Pro Quest. Very well done. In fact, there's something for you there from the last test itself. Ragamuffins. Oh, my God. Alright, congratulations. Alright, now we're going to call the rest of the top 8. To get the rest of the prizing now.
That's a lot of money, mate.
Slide away then. Who's got the top 8? I don't know who's got the top 8. Who's got? Sean? Okay. Yeah. It will go straight.
You won't.
That's fine. Alright, so we're going to get a top 8 now from the National Championship. Just a little bit of a respite there. We are going to get straight back into it. So, if you can join me in welcoming up to the stage, 7th place, absolute warrior that is, Sharif Shaban. We've got a call for him. Absolutely beautiful point as well. And get one of the old gold foils. Third ball.
I'll take the 7th place.
I'll go back. Third ball. Third ball. Third ball. Third ball. No. Third ball. Congratulations, Sharif. Okay, so in order to order, we're going to fifth and eighth. And go, Hamish! Mr. Hamish, start it! Congratulations, man, for the work into the weekend. That's the first handbrake. You're going to take me on gold foils. And of course, your beautiful playmat as well. Congratulations. Okay, after the Hamish, we've got. Which Aaron? Come in. Aaron, come on, Aaron. Come on, Aaron. We love you, Aaron. Absolutely. Congratulations, come on. Let's get you the new playmats as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Right, so then after that, third and fourth time, it's the Simon Denning. Congratulations. So you get a competition now. So thank you very much, Simon. So we've got our winner boxer, we've got our very hard fought runner-up. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. George Rodgers. There's yours. Alright, I'll call you online. I'm just going to crank open that box now. Wow. Oh, look at that. So, of course, it's been a long journey. We've finally made it. Please join me in giving a huge round of applause to 15 undefeated, undisputed UK national. Getting out of the ball, playing out of the ball.
Is it the only one?
Yeah, only one.
Oh, that's
And of course, you get your gold foil as well.
You fixed me the good one, right?
Yeah, of course. Well done. I think that's it, right? Table top 20. No one thing everybody here. Have a big dance. September 24. Thank you to Barry. Thank you, Alan. I think we should get up. Ryan Miles, please get up. And then what's coming next?
Thank you all. Community, thank you to the community. A huge thank you for this beautiful community. That's it.
It's been a while since we could never have imagined in such a short space of time, the backing of obviously everybody here, everybody at home, everybody who's left for today. Without you guys, we've never made it. So, you know, when you're creating that, it's all like you guys. Have you enjoyed yourselves? Sure. And I think that's all done. If I'll invite Alan and Barry up onto the stage. And yes, you all go back.
Let's start with that, Barry. Oh, well, no, Jack's wonders on. So, thank you to everybody that is still tuning in and still watching from behind. The Living Realms crew have just gone out to pass out over there. They have done a fantastic job this weekend. A massive thanks to this man here, my right arm,
Thank
left
you for
arm,
giving me the gig.
right
Thank
foot.
you for Living Realms for giving their trust to me.
Yeah.
Really, it's been fantastic. For Lee Dalton for giving me good words, to get me this. So thank you, Lee. He's been trading all day, all over the weekend with Protect Cards. He's done a brilliant job. So, yeah. Thank you, Fabio. You are the power of this man's throne.
Right, let's bring this so people might hear us a little bit more.
All right.
There we are. Right, so yeah, so I think that's it from us. We will be uploading the footage over the course of the next week. Obviously, there's a lot to go through. I think we've been streaming for possibly about 24 hours across a 3-day period. So
it's been exhausting, but it's also been absolutely exciting. The whole room has been buzzing for the last 2 days. You know, you want the comments. You know, good or bad, you know, that's what comes with gaming. But it's been a fantastic weekend for everybody in the UK to come together to celebrate this amazing game. So it's been brilliant.
So the question is now then, what's going to be the next event for us?
I don't know, but we know what the next Nationals is, and that's the US. So this is your time to show what you guys can do.
Yeah. So, guys, obviously, good luck to everybody that he's going to go to their own nationals. In the British style, it's good night from him.
And good luck from me.
Right, guys, take care.